Okay, hello. So I'm just going to do this question and answer thing. I have a few questions already saved in my little notes. So we're going to go through those first. If you have one, just put a little comment and we'll get to it before the end. Should be about 30 minutes-ish. Doesn't matter if it goes on a little longer, that's okay. When I get to everyone's questions, if they have any. I'm going to try and make this a regular thing, doing it once a week. If you let me know if this time is good, if not, we can do it at a different time. I've got a very wet doggy here. He's been sitting in this seat, so my bum is a little wet, but it's okay. We'll shower afterwards. So the first question that I had was about a dog that is pretty well trained, and due to a relationship starting, the other person's dog has come in and is not as well trained. Very hyper, can't really settle, that kind of stuff. You know, kind of puppy behavior. This kind of stuff doesn't generally go away with age. We have to kind of teach them to settle. Eventually, it will go away with old age, but we don't want to be waiting a decade for our dog to calm down. So in this scenario, what is best to do is, because the younger dog is kind of bothering well, not bothering, but it's pestering the other resident dog. It's kind of all over the people there, can't really settle. You know, you feel like you have to kind of sit still, like, oh, don't move, don't move. And then you have to do something because you're pottering about your house all the time. The dog is then, what's happening? I'm coming, sign me up. So what we would do in this scenario, if you don't have a crate or don't want to do crate training, obviously everyone has their own opinions about it, you can do place training. This can be a raised bed, a little soft bed, it doesn't really matter, but it's something that they can't get away from. So we're not expecting this dog that's all over the place, very hyper, very loving, to just do it. Because if they're not really taking other commands, why would they listen to this? They wouldn't. So something you can do is get in a little lead, not a very long one, maybe like a 5-6 feet one, whatever. You can either tie it to a door handle or put it underneath the legs of your settee. Something where the dog doesn't really have access to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach them to do nothing, which has to be taught in a lot. I have a border collie. It has to be taught in a lot of breeds. When he was a puppy, I had to teach him to relax. Otherwise, it would just be going non-stop all the time. So we can do this. The dog might go mental, but it will settle eventually. Once it knows nothing's happening here, this is your time, this is your quiet time, then the dog will settle. What we need to be doing outside of that time is making sure that we're fulfilling the dog as best as we can. This is playtime, most importantly, walks that are engaging and stimulating to the dog. So the dogs that are kind of a little extra hyper are probably not going to be satisfied with a walk around the block. So this particular dog comes from a working breed, a mix of 2 working breeds, so you're working with a lot there already. So this would be a good time to kind of tap into their baser instincts. These working breeds love to sniff. They like to retrieve. Basically, their nose is their best friend. It is with all dogs, especially this breed. So what we could do is, if they're fed dry food, super easy to take a handful of it. Doesn't need to be the full meal, and we can scatter feed it on the walks. And teaching the dog to go find, that can be done with toys as well. My dog loves to go find. He's a collie. He likes every single dog sport, apart from dog diving. We've never tried that. It's not available in Scotland, but not that I know of anyway. So if it is, let me know. He loves that. His tail is never going more than when we're playing Go Find. So in order to teach this, you would do it somewhere very easy to start off with. And it may seem like, well, how is play gonna settle the dog inside? The dog has a lot of pent up energy, and when they're kind of cooped in, is in a house or a flat, whatever, in your home, where are they gonna put it? Where are they gonna put it? So they're gonna direct it at the living things. If nobody's there, these kind of dogs can end up being destructive because there's just nowhere for them to put their energy. So we need to give them appropriate outlets for them to do that with, for them to put their energy into. So teaching something like go find would be very good for this dog, and they'll come back, they'll be satisfied, they'll be fulfilled, and they'll be tired. That's when we would implement a crate, if you have a crate or a bed, and they're tethered to somewhere where they can't leave. Dogs that are kind of a little not hardwired, if they're a little wired, sorry, tend to probably not be getting enough sleep. Depending on the age of the dog, they need more sleep than others. Puppies need an insane amount of sleep. They're only meant to be awake for like 4 hours a day or something. And yes, honey. An adult dog should sleep about 18 hours a day. If you're getting a good night's sleep, if the dog is sleeping through the night, then that equates for a little bit of it, not all of it. So they need to find the nap time elsewhere. I know that my dog comes with me all day when I'm dog walking. Even if I'm not, he's with me all day. He sleeps in the crate in the van because I'm constantly turning around to see what he's doing. He's sleeping. So he's getting naps, definitely. Probably not enough, no, but when we do play, when we're going out on walks, he is being fulfilled because I know what he likes to do, so we'll do it on the walks. So yeah, so if you implement the tethering in the house, teaching the dog to do nothing, and making sure we're making outside more fun, but the fun is coming from us. What are you doing? I know he's being pretty weird. Okay, if you need more clarity on that, just message me. You know who you are, and I will provide that. So the next question I had was how to get better recall. So basically, with dogs that don't have good recall, it's normally, not in a nasty way, but it's normally like, it can reflect a not so great relationship. Doesn't mean a bad relationship with the owner, just the bond could be stronger. Saying this, me and my dog have a very, very strong bond. We always have. On walks, I have to tell him to go on. Not to leave me alone, but I mean to just go and be a dog or whatever. Because he's constantly looking at me like, well, where's the fun? Where's the party? You're the party, whatever. So, hey. Not right now, later, honey. Come up here. Up. Okay, he wants to lie down. So, if we're making ourselves more fun by playing with them in the appropriate way, something like a ball, just a ball, isn't super good enough because it's not, it comes from us, yeah, but it's not attached to us. We can throw it, yeah. The dog decides whether to bring it back or not. And then the dog decides whether they're going to let it go or not. And yeah, there's things that we can do to make that happen. Red, no. But, you know, it's kind of a one person, one dog activity kind of thing. Something like a ball on a rope is good. Some dogs might not like the conflicts of the playing because if they're just chasing a ball, it's away from you, so there's no conflict. I'm talking about more nervous breeds, more nervous dogs. So a ball on a rope, something tuggy. If there's something else, you can attach a lead to a toy. Then we can kind of make it more interesting. And that way we would play with the dog. So we can do this on a long line so everyone's safe, especially if we're not there with recall yet. But it's basically finding, what I find works with recall training. Hold on a minute. Red! Stop it, honey. We'll play later. Down. Sorry. what I find works with recall training is finding what the dog finds most reinforcing. So, for example, Labradors love to eat. Everybody knows this. So recall training with treats or their food, it doesn't really matter, is the way to get them to come back every single time. Spaniels, it can be toys. If toys is not appropriate, then every single one I've met loves to be fussed over, to cuddles, praise, you know, that kind of thing. And I've trained a couple Spaniels on recall with cuddles, and they come back every single time because they're like, yes, cuddle party, the best. So finding out what your dog finds most reinforcing is how to get them, get the recall up and going. If your dog is, my worst nightmare, haha, the dogs that just love other dogs, that again, you need to be more excited. And this isn't a sexier than the squirrel thing. It's, you need to be having more fun with your dog. So if you're playing with your dog, if you're creating that strong bond where the dog is like, my mom, dad, whatever, is so fun. We have fun all the time. So everything I do, Red thinks is fun because I've made it that way. You know, like I've taught him to climb trees. I didn't teach him, like I kind of directed him to do it. He thinks that's fun. He thinks breaking ice in puddles is hilarious. So everything we do, I try and make a game out of, teach him a command for it, because then every single walk, even if you forget a toy or don't have any treats in you, can still be fun. So we need to make ourselves the party, essentially. And that he keeps scratching my leg. Red, stop it! He's feeling left out. I don't know who he thinks I'm talking to, but it's not him. So he's like, Mom. Again, it's obsessed with me, so whatever. So yeah, so finding out what they find most reinforcing is a good way to go forward. You can use flexi leads. I'd recommend the tape rather than the cord. Cord can get a little dangerous if it gets wrapped around anything. Long lines are also good. I wear a walking belt with my foster dog and I put the flexi on that. So, you know, nobody's getting tripped up, nobody's getting tangled, you know, so she's pretty safe. So yeah, so you would just practice that over and over again. If you're on the short lead, you can't really practice recall on a short lead. You need to kind of get the flexi or the long line to give them the illusion of freedom. Dogs will always know if they're on lead. So even if you think the dog's doing amazing, it's come back every time, need to graduate to a trailing long line. I have a 20, I think there's a 20 meter one you can stand on if the dog tries to get fresh and run away, because they know when they're off lead, believe me. There's a different kind of pressure on their body or their neck. I mean, hopefully you don't have a long line on their neck, like a harness is better when you're teaching recall. Just in case it gets tangled on, they're like, no thanks. So just to make sure everyone's safe, you would kind of try and do the recall in a quiet place. If you want to know some quiet places, message me. We know a bunch. And then you would graduate to somewhere a little busier, you know, whatever. And then maybe somewhere that you know is going to be super busy, like Callender Park, which is in Central Scotland. So yeah, so you would make it a little more difficult every single time. So kind of going up in the levels. Another question I had was, so the recall one, all right, yeah, pulling on the lead. Everyone's worst nightmare. So there's no judgment behind any tool with me, whatever you feel works best and gives you most control. Red is on a flat collar. He's e-collar trained due to his past choices. I don't have to use it very often. It's basically there as a doggy seat belt just in case his kind of predatory stuff comes out. I've never walked him on a halty, not because I don't disagree with them, it's just, you know, he just hasn't been, whatever. He used to pull like a train. I ended up going through, I don't know, like 40 cocktail sausages one day. Oh my goodness. Like, and then once they were done, he continued to pull. So he was walking lovely to heel. And then once the food was gone, he was like, see ya, bye, end of the lead again. And I mean, he's not that big a dog. He's like 25 kilograms. I mean, gosh, if he was bigger, then, you know, I would have ended up with shoulder problems, that kind of thing. So what the main thing is to teach when you're trying to teach loose lead walking is to not do a back chain. So a back chain is when the dog is pulling, you say no or give a little pop in the lead or something to indicate to the dog, stop that. They then do a little loop, come back to heel or around you, get a little treat, get a little pat, and then they're off at the end of the lead again. So that would be back chaining. So if your dog is doing that and you're using treats to encourage them to walk to your side, need to be adding more time in between them coming back and the reward. So this is when you would implement the use of a marker word. So I use yes. I try and get all my clients to use yes. The good boy, good girl thing can come afterwards. Of course, you want to let them know that they're doing a good job, but yes, it's nice and snappy. So to implement yes, we would say yes, feed with treats, their food. It doesn't really matter. It's just for them to understand when I say yes, it means good things. Or yes, tickle tummy, you know, excuse me, that kind of thing. With toys, you know, you're holding a toy, the dog's like vibrating, like, give me that toy, give me that toy. Then you'd be like, yes, and then they can play. So it's just so they understand yes means good things. So, honey, don't touch that. So, once they understand the word yes, when they're at the end of the lead, you'd be like, Rocky, no, or whatever. Or heel, or whatever you're trying to teach them, whatever word you choose to use. Sorry. So they would be at the end of the lead, you would use your word, no, whatever. Then they would come back, you would say yes, walk a couple steps, and then reward. We'd do this again. So we would elongate the time between the marker word and the reward. I'm not talking like 15, 30 seconds. It's too long. Then the yes marker won't be great because the dog's like, well, they said yes, but they're not paying me for it. Pay me. So that's how you would do that. Again, any more clarity needed on what I'm talking about, just give me a message and I'll be happy to do it. I know I tend to waffle on, all my clients know this as well. So that would help with the loose lead walking. Also, another thing which you might not think helps is the play. I recently saw a dog that was at the end of the lead all the time, so much so that you think, gosh, his poor little neck. Or maybe he doesn't even feel it. Maybe he's so strong. He's like a tank in his neck. He doesn't care. That's how he walks at the end of the lead. That's it. Poor woman. She wasn't very big either. She was maybe 5 foot something like that. And this wee thing was just, okay, I need to go where you're going because I can't really pull you back. And the dog wasn't that big. Let me just say, it's like a terrier type. So she started playing with the dog. The dog wasn't really that interested. And then once the dog was interested and started playing with her and the dog's like, oh, this is great. She then put the toy away. Okay. The dog's like, whoa, oh, that was so fun. Let's do that again. She started walking away and then the dog's looking right up at her like, whew, this lady, she's the best. And I was like, oh, that was so quickly. Like, I can't believe, just play. It was at a seminar, so I was there to observe. I like have used play in training before, but I'd never implemented it in that way. And I was like blown away, like, whoa, as if it was that fast. So this dog's like, I'm just gonna watch mum because that was so fun. Let's do that again. And then so the dog was walking lovely to heel. Yes, okay, and then they played again, and the dog was like, this is the best thing ever. Woo! So yeah, so you wouldn't think that something like play would affect the loose lead walking, but it really does. Play is so important. It's one of the most important things to dogs, as important as eating and sleeping. If they're getting their play quota from us or other members of our family, whoever kind of interacts, trains, walks the dog, that kind of thing, then they're gonna be more happy, more fulfilled. So the main thing of this whole question and answer thing, is you need to play. You need to play with the dog. You need to play more with the dog. And we don't want to be rattling them on ball throwers. No judgment, but it's not super good for their joints. And we want them around as long as possible. The kind of start-stop motion isn't ideal. So if we implement a play that is suited to their breed and what they were bred for, you're gonna find you have a happier, fulfilled dog that's more likely to listen. Once we can get the dog playing, they're having the best time ever, we can introduce obedience into that play. And then the dog knows, when I'm up at this high arousal state, I still listen to mom or dad. Because that's just what I do. That's how I remain this happy. So, yeah. So if you need any more clarification on that, you can just let me know. I'm just going to check. I don't think that questions. No. Okay, that's fine. If you have any more, then you can give me a message on the training page, or you can shoot me a text. Everything's fine. If you're struggling with reactivity, I have a 5-week reactivity program that I'm going to have at a discounted price until the end of the year. So if you want to get in touch to get it at that lower price, then you can let me know. Anything else I can help with, you can shoot me a text or a message, and I'll be more than happy to help. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.